Good afternoon. Today is Monday, March 30th, 2026. This Committee of Finance, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is called to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Here.
Present.
Thank you. We'll begin the meeting. Once again, Spectrum is down, so you may not see Spectrum. Spectrum is down right now, so hopefully it'll be back up soon. We'll ask Municipal Court if they could come to the table. This is ordinance number 352-2026 as amended by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request. An emergency ordinance authorizing the Director of Finance on behalf of Cleveland Municipal Court to apply for and accept a grant from the Ohio Attorney General's Office to participate in the Ohio Law Enforcement Body Armor Program, authorizing the Director to enter into one or more contracts with various agencies or entities to implement the grant, and authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of body armor gear needed to implement the grant. Administrator.
To the council, yes, I am Michelle Kenny, the Finance Director for Cleveland Municipal Court, and I have here with me our Deputy Court Administrator, Stephanie Pope Early. What this grant is something that our bailiffs department needs. The Ohio Attorney General's Office had offered an opportunity to get funding to purchase their vests and things that they need to go out in the field. A few of our bailiffs do go out and they do service to the residents when they have to issue warrants and things like that. So they are looking forward to receiving this grant money in order to assist them with getting the vest and equipment that they need in order to go out into the field and do their job as deputy bailiffs.
Thank you. And I'll read the amendment. There is no legal objection to this legislation if amended as follows. 1, in Section 2 at the end, strike RQS 0115 RL 2026-30 and insert RQS 0115 and RLA 2026-30. This was dated 3/25/26 by Patricia McGinty Aston, Assistant Director of Law. Do you have anything else to add, or Ms. Pope Early?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions from council? Seeing no questions from council, ordinance number 352-2026 as amended stands approved. Please sign on. The next ordinance is ordinance number 364-2026 by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request. An emergency ordinance to supplement the codified ordinances of Ohio 1976 by enacting new section 127.481 relating to the purchase of food and beverages for the Cleveland Municipal Court. Court Administrator.
Good afternoon, everyone. This request is to supplement some opportunities for us to engage with the community and also engage with our employees to have food and things that we can provide at different events in the community. When we go out into like Justice Unlocked events or expungement events in the community, to be able to have just candy at the table, or events that we have to engage our employees and show appreciation for our staff. We want to make sure that we have some funding in our general fund so that we can provide those things.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions from the council? Councilman Brian Casey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, to our presenters, only because I can't pull it up on the computer. Can you just tell us how much this is worth? What's the dollar ask?
Oh, we're asking to set aside $10,000 a year to use. We might not use it all, but we just want to make sure we have a cushion enough just in case we need to go out into the community on a number of different occasions or have retreats for our staff.
All right, and I only ask because I can't pull it up here. Thank you.
Councilman Palencia.
No, Mr. Chairman, I just want to move. I support the legislation. I just want to thank these two wonderful young ladies who live in Ward 10 for the outstanding job that they do, both of them. Proud residents of Ward 10.
Outstanding. All right. Seeing no other questions, ordinance number 364-26 stands approved. Please sign on. We'll bring up.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll bring up Innovation and Technology. This is ordinance number 367-2026 by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the Director of Innovation and Technology to enter into one or more contracts with the United Way of Greater Cleveland to provide answering services to route 311 calls for the Department of Innovation and Technology for a period of 1 year beginning April 1, 2026, with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Innovation and Technology. Director.
So Liz is the Director of Innovation and Technology. I'm the Director of 311. I report up through Liz Crow. Through the chair, this legislation is to enter into a renewal of our contract with United Way to handle 311 calls during after hours. United Way 211 call center handles our calls during any time when our call center is not open, and it has been a strong partnership, and I look forward to any questions.
Thank you. Just briefly, do you have a record, or do you know, could you ever report to council what are the high priority calls? What calls are being made after evening? And also, do you have it broken down per ward?
I don't, through the chair, I don't have any of the ward data with me, but I assume that we could get it, so I can follow up with you on that. 211 handled about 20,000 calls for 311 last year. For comparison, we handled 150,000 calls in our own center, so it's a small segment of the calls that they handle. The types of calls that come through after hours that can be of a more urgent nature include, like for example, when we recently had a windstorm and there were trees down all over the city, they saw a higher call volume during the after hours when we're dealing with power outages and trees down and that sort of thing. And the United Way helps route those calls to the appropriate people who are on call. We also had heavy coordination with them during some of our snow events this season. So we had some major snow events that took place over the weekend where they saw as many as 500 or 600 incoming calls in a day. So they definitely saw increased volume, and we were able to coordinate with them during those events.
Great. Do we know the time periods? Like, do you track what are the hot time periods? And is this best for, the reason I'm asking that question, is this best for us to, sometimes it's cheaper to keep it in-house. And let's say, for example, if most of the calls came between 5 and 7 or 7 and 9, would it be better or cheaper for us just to keep it in-house, or is it more, more economical for us to keep this at the United Way?
Through the chair, I really appreciate the question, and it's something that we are evaluating at 311 in terms of our long-term operations. Right now, our call center operates from 7:30 in the morning to 5:30 at night internally. I do think there are some opportunities if we were to expand our hours a little bit on either end of the day to pick up more calls on our own center. There are some cities that structure things a little bit differently. So as I've been in this role for about 5 months and get my head around the operations, those are definitely things that I will look to consider.
Well, I would hope that we would assess it, because one of the things I would strongly believe is that our call takers probably understand city services and those sweet spots a little bit better than an outside agency. And last but not least, do we have limited English proficiency? I just want to make sure that we have not just the Hispanic community, but if someone calls that has a need from any other culture.
Through the chair, United Way, when they're answering 311 calls, they have access to the same language line that we use here at the city, so they can provide that live translation service using our language line solutions. We, in our 311 center, we have one call taker who speaks Spanish. It's something that we are even talking with the union with about ways that we can help encourage that as we're doing future hiring, because it's an important part of providing service to the residents.
Thank you. I have Councilman Casey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, to directors? Correct? You're director too, right? You're not chief.
Chief and administratively director. Kate is our
All right.
operating title director.
Okay. We'll just call you special assistants to the mayor. All right, Mr. Chairman, to the chief and the director, just to follow up on the council presidents, this is basically just an answering service, correct? I mean, all they're doing, and I got one saying yes and one saying no. So basically, this is just somebody answering the phone, taking the message and then routing that message to wherever. What's the process after that?
Through the chair to the councilman, the reason I shook my head no that it's not an answering service is because they do have folks at United Way that are trained specifically to answer 311 calls. They have access to our same knowledge base, so they're able to see that information, and they use our Variant system to put in tickets. So if you call 311 after hours, you still get the same level of service that you get during the day.
Right, so basically, it's just so that 311 can be 24 hours, right? Without hiring
correct.
without hiring an employee, correct?
Through the chair, for us to be staffed 24 hours, we would need to have more than one employee that's able to work those second and third shifts. So it essentially helps us to spread out because they have 3 or 4 people that are staffing those after hours and they're covering all of their calls. It helps us to spread that out. Whereas if we were to expand to be 24 hours, we would have a lot of downtime for our staff.
Okay, and then Mr. Chairman, to the director, I don't know if you answered this, but approximately how many number of calls a month come in? And I understand that it varies, but on average, how many calls per month?
Through the chair, it's around 2,000 calls a month.
Okay, because baked into this is an 8% increase for calls of more than $1,600 a month, right? So it looks like we'll be paying more than what's requested in the 111,000, or is the 111,000 include the baked-in increase over the 8% increase over the 1,600 calls?
I apologize. I did mental math in my head through the chair. So we did about 20,000 calls last year. So that 1,600 is based on our average monthly. So basically, what we're saying for this next contract is if the call volume increases over our current average, then they will accordingly increase the rate for the
So
contract.
it could, Mr. Chairman, to the director, it could increase by 5%, correct? If you hit the 20,000 call mark.
Through the chair, that's correct.
Okay.
So through the chair to the councilman, Kate, as our 311 director, is now actively monitoring those calls as they're coming in. So we get a daily report of the calls, and she is working on mitigation strategies to make sure city staff are picking up during as many high volume times as we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we're actively working to not hit that number.
Okay, and then, Mr. Chairman, I would offer an amendment to this piece of legislation and just exercisable by Director of Innovation and Technology with legislative authority, just so that we can come back to make sure that 311 is working appropriately, and maybe next year, Mr. Chairman, or sometime soon, we can actually get a breakdown of how many calls are coming in per ward, per department. I mean, we'd really like to see that breakdown.
Yeah, through the chair to the councilman, we have, through everything that comes in through a ticketed service request, those are all available now. We can get them to you, but they're also available every night onto Cleveland Open Data. So you can get those, and we'll send them over to you. And then United Way also tracks all of those calls in a database and sends us over an itemized list of all of the phone calls they get. So we can get you as much information as we are provided without question.
So did you, Councilman? You had an amendment on the floor, did?
Yeah.
Okay, Councilman, first of all, Attorney, do you understand the amendment that the councilman has put forward? Yes. Councilman, could you repeat your amendment?
Let me see, where would it be? I guess it would be in the first whereas, line 7, after renew, it would say with legislative authority.
So just add where, with legislative authority?
Correct.
Do you have that?
Through the chair to Councilman Casey, we need to amend that in section 1.
Oh, that's section 1.
And be it ordained so it has that effective legislation. So what I'll do is at the last line of section 1, it's going to state with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Innovation and Technology with additional legislative authority.
Correct.
Does that suffice?
Correct.
Thank you.
So section 1, line 13, just add after technology with legislative authority.
All right, do we have a second for Councilman Casey's amendment?
I'll second.
Councilman Polinsky has seconded. Do we have any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Therefore, the amendment carries. Please proceed. Anything else? Councilman Michael Polinsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my honorable colleagues, and to both directors that are here. I will say this, my number of calls that I receive from residents saying that 311 told them to call the councilman has decreased, okay? Good. That's encouraging. But following up on all the discussion that has been made, it really would be helpful for us to understand by ward of what the incoming calls are. Because I really promote 311. I promote 211. It's on all my things that I put out. And so I really try to stress at all my neighborhood meetings for residents to be proactive. Be our eyes and ears out there in the streets. And I know, because I was just, as I was riding my streets the other day, thinking about the issues that I'm dealing with, and I realized that I have more streets today than any time ever in the time I've served in city council. 265, and I can't be on every street, but my residents can, and they live there. So whatever data you can supply to us would be extremely helpful, because where it would be really helpful is when we get into the budget. So we know what is the concern of quality of life of our citizens. So I am, whatever you can provide to us, however you can suggest to us how to improve the system, would be very helpful, because if there's ever a time in the history of this city that I believe we have really got to draw the line in the sand as it pertains to quality of life issues, it is now. It is now. So again, Mr. Chairman, thank you, and I look forward to working with you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions, ordinance number 367-2026 as amended stands approved. Please sign on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you. We're now going to public utilities. First, we have ordinance number 1368-2025 by council members Griffin and Casey by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to enter into one or more requirement contracts without competitive bidding with the Safety Company, LLC, DBA, MTech Company, to provide proprietary parts and services to maintain Q's pipeline, inspection trucks and equipment, including labor, for the Division of Water Pollution Control, Department of Public Utilities for a term of 2 years. Director King.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. The Q's pipeline inspection trucks are our TV trucks at the Division of Water Pollution Control, or the camera trucks that has the ability to inspect, camera, or televise mains and laterals, and also record the information that is being televised. This is critical to the services that we provide at the Division of Water Pollution Control. This is proprietary maintenance. MTech is the regional provider of the maintenance for these trucks. We're asking for 2 years, approximately $150,000 per year.
Thank you. Councilman Casey.
Duly vetted and recommended for passage.
All right. Are there any questions regarding 1368-2025? Seeing no questions, ordinance number 1368-2025 stands approved. Please sign on. We now have ordinance number 1513-2025 by council members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of hauling and disposing of residuals from the Crown Water Works plant and in emergencies, other water treatment plants, authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to enter into one or more requirement contracts without competitive bidding with Polydyne, Inc. for polymer chemicals needed for dewatering Crown's residuals for the Division of Water, Department of Public Utilities for a term of up to 2 years. Director.
Thank you, Chairman. Crown Water Treatment Plant is unique among the 4 water treatment plants at the Division of Water. And this is a 2-part ordinance because not only is it unique by the process of how it goes through the water treatment process, but then what we do with the residuals. So the equipment is newer when you look at our system across the board. And with that equipment comes a warranty, thankfully, but you have to use the proper Polydyne, which is the polymer that's added to the water, the lake water, the intake water, to go through the process. After it does that, there are residuals, also known as sludge. Some of it is de-watered. It would be like a cake material that we can truck out at least once a day, and the other is partially de-watered, depending on the treatment process, when it would be more of the sludge with water in it. So we have to ship these materials out. We do have to do this on a regular basis, or Crown can't work. We can't store these residuals on site, and we're looking to go out to bid to find typically 2 different vendors, both for the full de-watered and then the partially de-watered residuals. Recommend approval.
Thank you, Councilman Casey.
Duly vetted and recommended for passage out of utilities.
Do we have any questions regarding ordinance number 1513? Therefore, ordinance number 1513 is recommended for approval. Please sign on. Thank you. Next, we have ordinance number 30-2026 by Councilmembers Casey and Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the purchase by 1 or more requirement contracts of valves, actuators, and appurtenances, and labor and materials needed to repair, replace, maintain, exercise, and test the existing valves, valve actuators, and valve appurtenances, and to provide related services for the Division of Water, Department of Public Utilities for a period of 2 years. Director.
Thank you, Chairman. The Division of Water has hundreds of thousands of valves of every type you could think of throughout the distribution system and in the water treatment plants. This is essentially staff augmentation for the maintenance, the regular maintenance of, inspection of, and repair of these hundreds of thousands of valves. The properly functioning valve is critical to not only what we do in the plants, but out in the system. So there's approximately, we budget about $600,000 a year for plant operations and approximately $1 million a year through engineering, which would handle out in the distribution network. And it would, as I said, it would be going out to bid. Current contract expires in August.
Thank you, Councilman Casey.
Duly vetted and recommended for passage out of utilities.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions, ordinance number 30-2026 stands approved. Please sign on. We'll move to ordinance number 184-2026 by Councilmembers Casey and Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the purchase by 1 or more requirement contracts of labor, materials, and equipment necessary to perform various tree trimming services for the Division of Cleveland Public Power, Department of Public Utilities for a period of up to 2 years. Director.
Thank you, Chairman. As we've talked about extensively at this table, the proper maintenance of our tree canopy is essential to reliable power. It is high up there in the causes of outages, and what we do at the Division of Cleveland Public Power, what we're seeking authority to do at Cleveland Public Power, is to go out and find a vendor to help us in those instances of rather routine maintenance or emergency response to clear trees, shrubs, brush, saplings, and other vegetation that's in close proximity to the power distribution network. We do in-house have 4 crews, essentially 2 east and 2 west, but this augments those staff, and we continue to evaluate either we add internal or continue to, and this number has gone down over the last 4 years as we added a crew last year, and we'll continue to monitor that closely.
Thank you. Councilman Casey.
We had a robust conversation in utilities, and we recommend it for passage.
Okay, do we have any other questions regarding ordinance number 184-2026? Director, are we going to encourage them not to make the field goal posts?
Yes, Chairman, it is, so in the robust conversation that the chairman alluded to, the amount of coordination with the Division of Forestry and not only the respect for our neighborhoods, but for our tree canopy and the importance thereof. In certain instances, it is unavoidable, and it is in compliance with the arborist rules. I forget the name of it, but we try to avoid it. And if it is going to harm the tree or irreparably harm a beautiful tree-lined street, then we do work with forestry to try to take the tree in order to maintain power.
Okay, outstanding. All right, seeing no questions, ordinance number 184-2026 stands approved. Please sign on. Next, we have ordinance number 237-2026 by Councilmembers Casey and Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to enter into one or more requirement contracts without competitive bidding with OPEX Corporation to provide proprietary hardware and software support and on-call maintenance for mail extractors, scanners, and ID assist towers for the Division of Fiscal Control, Department of Public Utilities for a period of 2 years. Director.
Thank you, Chairman. These are the machines that open the mail for the Division of Public Utilities, which includes water, CPP, WPC, and also the Regional Sewer District, and any suburban municipality that we have contracted with on the billing side. This is actual hardware. These are machines that open the mail, scan the mail, and appropriately direct the mail. The next ordinance is the software associated with the processing of that payment. But these machines are each integral to what we do every day. If any of them do go down without that emergency response that we have been provided by this ordinance, then we do face a challenge to the operation. So we do recommend continuing with this relationship.
Thank you. Councilman Brian Casey.
Duly vetted, and we recommend for passage out of utilities.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions regarding ordinance number 237-2026? Seeing no other questions, ordinance number 237-2026 stands approved. Please sign on. Last utilities ordinance is ordinance number 280-2026 by Councilmembers Casey and Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to enter into one or more contracts with Bank Tech Inc. for software support and maintenance services for its payment processing system for the Division of Utilities, Fiscal Control, Department of Public Utilities for a period of 2 years. Director.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. This is the software side of our payment processing function at the Department of Public Utilities. So this would take the images that were just previously opened and scanned. It would appropriately create the necessary payment files, upload to the appropriate billing systems, and also send to the appropriate banks for deposit. So this is, again, essential to how we do it. They have all of the necessary patents and copyrights to do it safely, maintaining the financial security of our customers' information and then also of our organization. 2 years, approximately $104,000. Recommend approval.
All right, Councilman Casey.
Duly vetted and recommended for passage out of utilities.
Thank you. Do we have any questions regarding 280-2026? Seeing no other questions, ordinance number 280-2026 stands approved. Please sign on. We have one council ordinance. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Director, and
Chairman.
thank you for taking the calls last week. I look forward to following up about what we can do because we really believe that it needs to be an investment in that.
Yes, thank you, Chairman.
All right, thank you. All right, this is Resolution 372-2026 as amended by Council Members Conwell and Griffin, an emergency resolution urging civility in local government and supporting calls for local governments to promote dignity, respect, and constructive dialogue in public meetings and community engagement. This is ordinance, Resolution 372-2026. I'll read the amendments if we could. There is no legal objection to this legislation if amended as follows. In the title, at the end, strike the period and insert "and committing to promoting civility in this community." Number 2, after the fourth existing whereas, insert "whereas this council stands united with the National League of Cities to lead with civility, dignity, and respect to meet the needs of all residents of this city." And number 3, in section 1, at the end, strike the period and insert "and commits to promote civility in this community." Number 4, in section 2, at the end, strike the period and insert "and to the Board of Directors of the National League of Cities." This is dated 3/26/26 by Kevin Roberts, Chief Assistant Director of Law. Just for the record, everyone, one of the key takebacks that we really got when we went to the National League of Cities is that we really want to promote civility in government and dignity and respect. In this day of polarization, extreme polarization, and also this day of government, there seems to be a lot of friction within bodies, and one of the things that this encourages everybody to do at the local, state, and national level is to actually approach government with more civility, dignity, respect, and constructive dialogue in public meetings and community engagement. I think this is a very strong policy that the National League of Cities is really promoting, and we already have several cities that have submitted this, and we are requesting as board members, I know myself and Councilman Casey are board members, really for this council to adopt this resolution and be in correspondence with other cities across the nation that is promoting civility, and also making sure that we have civility within our own processes. Councilman Casey, would you like to add anything to this?
No, but Mr. President, this was kind of the theme of National League of Cities and going across the country now this year with the unstableness of just politics in general. This is a wonderful thing, and I would encourage all members of council to be sponsors of this piece of legislation. If you could please add my name to it as well. But this is the theme going forward, and I really do hope that at least locally, with the passage of this, that civility starts becoming more and more part of the regular day-to-day operations of not only elected officials, but of the public in general as well. Not only public officials to the public, to the general public, but the general public to elected officials. Thank you.
Thank you. Please add Councilman Casey, and is there any objection to all of the Finance Committee being added to this? And I would request if all council members would be willing to sign this evening for a vote on the floor. Councilman Michael Palencia.
No, I was just asking, my name be added, and too bad we couldn't, under public comment, request that there be civility there. Okay, thank you.
I surely wish we could have that. All right, is there any other comments regarding ordinance, resolution number 372-2026 as amended?
Mr. President.
Yes, Councilman Kevin Bishop.
So, Mr. President, if we pass this resolution, does that mean we can, so how does that affect our interaction with public commenters in the city of Cleveland? Are they going to be asked to review this piece of this resolution, or how are we going to work that? Can you explain that?
We will ask and request civility amongst public commenters. I will tell you that free speech, and we had to learn the hard way a couple of years ago, that free speech actually is a little bit harder to police from the public comment standpoint. We thought we had some good guardrails in place, but unfortunately, free speech allows public commenters to make whatever remarks they like to make, no matter how vile or despicable we think they might be.
So-
That's the unfortunate part about this.
So, Mr. President, if there are actors or people that come in and make public comment that's not about the humility, do we have the right to turn them away?
Unfortunately, I don't believe we have that right now. This is more so a framework to kind of help us operate within our bodies. It's harder to control what outside people believe civility and dignity is, and I totally see where this is going. I believe that legally, I don't know if we have the ability to make them abide by this resolution, but I do believe that this would be good framework for us as a body to even practice civility and respect within our body, as well as how we interact with other people. But as far as the public commenters and some of the public space, I believe that it's kind of hard because of free speech to rein that in.
All right, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, and duly noted. I know that those comments can get very frustrating, and we thought we had some guardrails when we originally adopted the rules for public comment. However, after a court challenge, we learned that they are able to speak a little bit more freely than we thought we had the guardrails to do. I think Councilman Chris Harsh? Oh, we didn't have it? Okay. So seeing no other comments, Resolution 372-2026 as amended stands approved. Please sign on. That concludes this Committee of Finance, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The next committee will be next Monday. Thank you.